Welcome to the Strange Take. How's everybody today? Interesting. Flipping through TikTok and YouTube. Well, a lot of videos on time travel. Time travel. A lot of people claiming that they come from the future, or they've been to the future, and then they post, videos, they post pictures, right? They show either one of two things of the world. Either it's absolutely technologically advanced, right? Or it's an absolute wasteland. Kind of crazy. It makes you wonder, either we're in the world of the Walking Dead, or maybe the world of the Blade Runner, right? Flying cars, technology, robots. I don't know what I'd take, killer robots or zombies, right? I think that, zombies, obviously, people have been able to live. You can outrun them. You can stay away from the hordes. You can, your biggest danger in a world like that's other people. And, and be it the show or not, I believe the same, right? But in a dystopian future where maybe robots have taken over, right? Now you're talking Terminators. You're talking all kinds of, technology to find the human being, right? Infrared and motion sensor and drones. And I think it'd be much harder to escape a horde of killer robots than a bunch of zombies. Now, the zombies are kind of terrible. They rip your guts and your skin, and they, bite into you with their teeth falling out, right? What's up with the zombies, somehow their mouth structure is still in really good shape enough to, bite through human flesh, right? But killer robots, well, shit. It's a cold steel ripping you apart. Doing some kind of science experiments on you or something, right? But time travel, really, what an amazing concept. I think in the only time travel movie where they really took advantage of time travel would have been Back to the Future, right? He grabs the almanac, the sports almanac, right? Starts betting on the games. No, there's a big chunk of money to be had. If I went into the future, there's 3 things that I would record and bring back to now. The first, of course, would be, if there was a war in the future, well, you'd want to bring that back and say, listen, this war will devastate humanity. This is how it starts, and these are the players involved, right? And the second thing is, well, you got to have some money or no one's going to listen to you, so, you go and you get the next couple jackpot lottery wins. Well, if you won the one, would the second one be the same as it was when you went to the future? That's right. So you'd have to pick one big jackpot lottery that no one else wins, of course, 70 million, right? Then you win that. Now you got money. Now you can tell people, hey, I went to the future. This is how I won the lottery. They'd probably try to take the money away from you if you were proven right. But anyways, And the third, I think, most important thing would be to report when you come back from the future. We're talking, we didn't really put a timeline on it, tomorrow or the next day, right? A couple of years. Well, let's just say 5 years, 10 years into the future, right? I think the third most important thing to report to the world would be, the environment, right? What's going on? Is there famine? Is there drought? Is there fires? What can we do now to prevent that from happening? Not just that, but, you could go and take a peek at yourself in the future, right? Go peek in the window. See if you bought yourself anything new from now till then. Did you get a new house, new car? Are you still married, or are you married now? Kids, animals, pets, right? Be kind of neat to see yourself in 10 years and peek in the window. You know, the reality is when you look at the world, it seems like it's moving really fast, but, 10 years ago, really it's just traditions and how we act our actions out, right? But, houses still pretty much look the same, and maybe the iPhones will be a little smaller. Yeah, TV will be 10K, which is better than I can see in real life, so I don't see the point in that, right? But yeah, the future. You go up in the future, and all of a sudden everything's still the same, right? You're still playing the fucking same video game, and peek in the window there, and you're eating the same dinners, and everybody just looks older. Maybe one of the kids moved out. You never know, really, right? But I don't think it'd be like you go 10 years in the future and there's robots and flying cars and, even 20 years in the future. I don't think you'd see that. But then at the same time, if you go 10 years in the future with COVID happening and all these variants as well, could the world be apocalyptic, right? No power, people killing each other, buildings falling apart. In just 10 years, I don't think the average house would fall apart that bad, really. I think it'd be about 30 years till you see a house just kind of collapse, right? Maybe not, right? You drive by those fields and they have the old barns out there, right? And you're like, oh, look at that collapsed old barn. I wonder how old it is, right? But, what would happen if COVID continued to alter and, maybe the death toll goes up a little bit, but, businesses are closed, people are out of money, and governments are losing their sway because they don't have any money or they can't collect their taxes. And then they start using the police and the military to collect taxes when there's no money to be made in an apocalyptic future, right? By then, half of the Canadians and Americans that had firearms probably wouldn't by then. The ones that, held true to their beliefs or whatever with firearms, maybe the ones who still have them, right? Maybe humanity would change and become a lot more closer. Maybe everybody would be more neighborish, more neighborly. But with a disease, like with a virus, that pushes people away from each other. So when you're breaking the world down, you don't want people getting together and praying or getting together and saying, hey, we're pooling our resources to all stay alive, right? They want us to all stay away from each other so that, you don't trust each other, scared of getting the virus, right? What loud booms have been heard around the world, hey? They hear in the sky these booms and stuff. And, I watch this one guy and he says that he thinks that the world as a whole, like the leaders of the major governments, are digging underneath the ground and preparing for, massive solar flares or, POFIS chunks to hit the earth. And maybe all these big bangs and booms people were hearing that last over the last couple of years around the world. And it seems to travel. It's not all in the same places. Like it was here in Canada for a while. It was in Istanbul. It was, but you just never know, right? Well, where are these, and the governments are okay. Like we don't know, it's like UFOs. We just don't know, right? That's what they say. And we're okay with that. But, if you steal a pack of gum from the corner store, well, we're pulling out videos. We're putting in manpower, right? Those fucking aliens or, some kind of astronomical event. And it's like, well, we just don't know. And that's the way it is. Doesn't seem like the government There was like UFOs flying around in the airspace, man. They'd be on you. You let a hot air balloon go. And I did this once a long time ago. You let a hot air balloon go up with a camera on it, and fuck, you get in a lot of trouble, right? What airplane could have hit that? There's major fines. You broke a federal Canadian airspace law, right? Launching rockets when I was younger. Sent one right up into the fucking atmosphere. And you getting shit for that, right? And come knocking on your fucking door. It's not even like your local police. It's the fucking RCMP, right? And they're like, hey. So, but I mean, that's a toy rocket or a hot air balloon, right? Like a weather balloon. Helium, right? But a fucking UFO can fly around beside $1 billion fighter jet, and it's like, wow, look at that. Let's film it for a minute and move on. We're not going to investigate it. We're not going to put any manpower into it, right? Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder, right? Like if I was the Prime Minister of Canada, I'd say, what are these things flying around in our airspace? We need to investigate these things, and we need to have patrols going, but instead, no, it's like, oh yeah, those kids sent up a piece of Lego with a video camera on a hot air balloon. They're going to jail because they violated federal airspace rules, right? We're going to find out who did it. We're going to track it. We're going to use all our resources. We're going to find these kids, right? Yeah, it's okay for UFOs to fly around. It's so funny. There's always the ghetto bird in the sky at night looking for criminals. And never once do they ever seem to run into a UFO. And yet right on live news, you can watch some guy talking first thing in the morning, and he's looking up going, what the fuck are those lights in the sky? And he's like, there goes the ghetto bird just flying by like he doesn't fucking see him. Anyways, little stuff to think about, right? The future. UFOs. What are people really doing about these things, right? Anyways, everybody, just some talk for thought. Y'all take care.